After the Soviet Union was destroyed and the Communist Party was not a thing anymore, Boris Yeltsin was the #1 man in Russia. But he didn't have the power to run this giant country. It was after that in 1999, the young Putin took power. From that day on forward, since 22 years ago, this guy is running Russia. But sometimes he had to follow the rules. He became the vice president. But right after, he went back to being president again. Putin was born in Leningrad in 1952. Before he enters the KGB, he studies economics. But when he entered the KGB, year by year, his job got more important and more important. You know why he would go up and up every time? Because he was a hard worker. Not only did he have a degree in economics, he knew Russian, German, and English. And he was actually a really athletic person. He's a black belt in judo, and in other sports, he's a really good player as well. Whatever job he had or how athletic he is not important for us right now. What's important for us is that how much money this guy has. If we calculate it correctly, is Putin the richest man in the world? When you calculate the money people have nowadays, it kinda sounds unbelievable. Is it even possible that Bill Gates' net worth is the same size as two countries, Cuba and Sierra Leone? The GDP of these two countries compared to Bill Gates' net worth is similar. Right now, people that are considered billionaires, meaning having more than $1 billion, is 2,200 people. And they come from investors, shareholders, CEO of tech companies, clothing designers, and other jobs are things that make people billions. But in the middle of all these billionaires, there are a few leaders in there as well. Like the president of Kazakhstan has $1 billion to his name. Or bin Rashid, the leader of Dubai, has $4 billion. This guy, which is the Sultan of Brunei, personally has $20 billion. The King of Thailand has $40 billion to his name. But Oman's king doesn't have the money these guys have. He has about $700 million. Bill Browder, the CEO of Hermitage Bill Management, which is a finance company, he says the net worth of these people we explained compared to Putin's net worth is nothing. Browder continues and says Putin at least has $200 billion personally. Mr. Browder gets his information from his company because he has branches of his company in Russia. In 2007, Forbes magazine said Putin is worth $40 billion. But since Forbes has announced this, 14 years has passed. So in this 14 years, Putin should have grown a little bit at least. Forbes got the number from the stocks Putin has. He has 37.5% in a Russian oil company, 4.5% in Gazprom, a natural gas company, and a lot of other companies Putin has shares in. 5 years later, meaning in 2012, Forbes announced Putin's net worth is now $70 billion. And that was based on his stocks as well. In the same year since Forbes announced this, Putin is noticed as the richest leader right now. And his net worth is almost twice as much as Thailand's king. Since Putin got to work, he's been trying to improve Russia's economy. But he was never able to improve Russia's economy for the better. Kinda like China, where the economy is growing every day. But we're not sure if Putin's net worth itself has been growing or not. Putin has never announced how much money he has. Not in public places or private places. And that is why hackers all around the world want to figure out how much money this guy has. Because if they find out, there's some success behind it. But it's extremely difficult to figure out how much money he has, even for hackers all around the world. Because he doesn't have a booklet that he keeps the amount of money he has and you could just figure it out like that. He has thousands of different accounts, stock markets, different companies, even different churches. There's money in it. But also, Putin doesn't say he doesn't have any money, but he doesn't give the exact amount. Like for example, he has a palace next to the Black Sea that is ginormous compared to any palace you've ever seen, and it's worth $1 billion. Just look at it and try to figure it out. If you've seen James Bond movies, where James Bond himself enters a really weird and huge palace and he gets lost in there, this is kind of like those palaces. Anything you want, you can find in this. Obviously, the Russian army protects it. It has a helipad, 10 different types of pools, all types of rooms, and different types of stuff in a palace that is gonna take up too much time to explain at all. But they don't really let people go inside and record this place. And that's why having a picture of the inside is kind of rare. One of the people that bothered Putin on the regular was Boris Nemtsov. This guy would go around and tell people what Putin has. He would say he has 20 different palaces, that some of them are even better than this thing. He has 58 planes, 4 mega yachts, and his watch collection is worth more than $500 million. But this guy couldn't tell any more after, because he was assassinated in Moscow. Stephen Myers, the author of the book called New Tsar, would say Putin interviewed me privately and told him, not only am I the richest man in Russia, but I'm the richest man in Europe, and I'm the richest man in the entire world. He would then continue and tell Stephen this: I am the richest, and the people of this country have chosen me to be their president and to make our country a better place. It's kind of funny that when reporters ask Russian politicians, why does Putin have so much money, they in reply say, that's all for the Russian government, and when he's finished, he's supposed to return all of them. But we're not sure when he will be finished, because there seems like there's no end date. With this information, we can kind of assume that Putin is the richest man in the entire world. But he's not the richest man in history, because we've made a video about that.